shopping Calio. The other girls who let me go. She took me in the parlor and said,
welcome, Wanish, to another episode of White Rice.
That's right. I'm Dylan, this is Joey, and we really like films.
We do.
And I'm not going to try to fake an accent here like Joey, but
I'm faking nothing.
we are here to tell you that we review movies, and we have no credentials, but we like doing it because it's fun.
It's fun. Today, we have a fantastic, one-tiferous episode for you.
This is 100% the movie of the year for me. I've been waiting to watch this for probably 2 years now, so so excited to talk about none other than...
Very excited.
Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse.
I was like, something's going on. Oh, we got.
Where's the lightning, dude?
We gotta add music and lightning.
We gotta do that in post.
Oh, right.
Anyway, yeah, folks, we're here to talk about The Lighthouse. This movie just came out. First of all, let's talk about A24 and Robert Eggers.
Let's go down a little history lane here.
Yeah.
And have at it, sir.
Yeah, well, if y'all aren't too familiar with A24, they put out some pretty strange films, and Robert Eggers, who I believe is like 36 years old, made his first film with them, The Witch.
What?
The Witch or The Vitch. It's two V's. Aesthetic, you know. A wonderful horror movie. I mean, it took Satanism and the terrors of being an early pioneer to a whole different level. For his first film, I mean, an absolute masterpiece.
And just the lore of the times, folklore and stuff, kind of like the old stories told to scare children, Hansel, Gretel, stuff like that, you know, stuff about witches, obviously.
Playing up on the religious aspect a lot,
and
too.
Yeah, and the religious aspect, and Puritans, I believe they were, you know. Yeah, fantastic film. I need to see it again. I've only seen it once. And you can definitely see that style kind of carried over into this film, The Lighthouse. But
well, I think what's so important about the way Robert Eggers makes a movie is like he commits to a theme and a style and a storyline and just, I mean, never veers off track. It seems like, at least.
Yeah, and you were mentioning that he's had the ability to basically create the movie with the vision that he has without any hindrance.
There's like
because
no
of
boundaries.
A24, the production studio. I mean, they're fantastic. They're just putting out gems, diamonds.
What did you say the other day? Movies we don't deserve, but the movies we need.
I said actually we deserve them and we need them because these days I was thinking that, but then I was like, wait a second, no, we deserve these. We're getting so many like dumb big blockbusters,
or just like the Netflix
movies,
and the Amazon shows and
just
movies.
It's
so
all
much
this just
trash.
Yeah, and it's so nice to have something so refreshing, whether it's The Witch or The Lighthouse. And speaking of The Lighthouse, it's exactly that. It's refreshing. It's so different in so many ways. It's so well done. It's so unique.
So we'll jump a little bit back into Robert Eggers. Him and his brother wrote this story. They knew they wanted to write something that was a little bit more on the scary side, but not like truly a horror film. He was inspired by a story of two guys named Tom working in a lighthouse in Northern Europe.
Two brothers. No, not really.
Not actually brothers, but two guys named Tom. And that mixed with just an appeal for this like 1950s style black and white 35 millimeter style of shooting. That was pretty much the genesis of The Lighthouse. And then they built around that, casting Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, which two absolute powerhouses from two very different,
out of the park,
super different realms. Robert Pattinson has made such an interesting name for himself post Twilight. He recently was in another A24 film, High Life. I believe that was an A24 film.
You mentioned that. I still need to see that.
A very strange, like space, maybe art house kind of film, but with some really strange thriller aspects. Anyway, don't want to get too far into that, but the whole point being is Robert Pattinson seems to be having a deep desire to recreate himself. In this movie, definitely, I think is going to go down as a new type of classic, even though it's shot in this very old school sort of format. You're gonna, when you see it, it's in a ratio where it's just a square. It's in black and white. The filter they used on the camera makes everything look so just really gritty and dark. Even when it's daytime, it's so austere. I mean, every element of the way that the movie looks you feel it.
And it has a bit of everything. It has mystery. It has chaos. It has kind of a thrilling aspect. It has humor to it. All of it, and it always keeps you intrigued. The dialogue is fantastic. Both actors are phenomenal in it. I guess Eggers really pushed them to the brink.
Oh yeah.
To make this film. And there are certain scenes where you'll go, oh, wow, that looks rough.
Yeah.
Plus, it was all filmed on this island, and they built the entire set for that island. Very, very cool, very awesome, and it looks like a lot like there's a scene, no spoilers, where Pattinson's just using this really old wheelbarrow with a metal wheel in mud, and it's raining and it's windy. And it's all real, and it's just like, that looks miserable.
So one of the stories that broke the news, this must have been at least 18 months ago, and this was in the early promotions for this film, was that Robert Pattinson nearly quit the movie due to a scene that they were shooting on the beach where he's running toward the camera, and it looks like there's just water splashing all over him. I believe this was in his first vision that leads him down to the beach. Anyway, they were just... Robert Eggers was just spraying him down with a fire hose, essentially. They did 5 takes, and Robert was done. And Robert Eggers said, "We're not done. We're doing it again." And in interviews, Robert Eggers did say that they did use the last take.
Really?
Yeah. Which,
I wonder if Eggers said that just because.
I know.
But he's his last take.
You do have to wonder, but. The whole point being is Robert Eggers definitely, he's a young guy, he's new to this, but he is an old soul in the way that he conducts his sets, the way they design their sets. Like Joey said, they built everything that you see in the movie from scratch, and they did an incredible job. The set design is so convincing, and it's just so dirty and gross and miserable.
You mentioned that Willem Dafoe lived on the island.
Yes, that's
during
right.
this time.
He rented out a little cabin on the beach the entire time they were shooting this film, and apparently him and Robert Pattinson didn't really interact at all.
Yeah,
throughout the shooting of this.
Nuts to think about.
Yeah, it was work for them. They worked hard and they did it well. They did it well. Let's talk a little bit about one of the things that I think is most important, which is the story or lack thereof and the importance of that. I think that this is one of those movies where...
Are we getting into spoilers, lad?
No spoilers. Just like in general.
Very good.
I think this is one of those movies where most people would walk away from it and have a lot of questions and then they'll start pointing fingers and saying, well, this meant this and this led to this and that and the other. And at the end of the day, my takeaway from this is that it's a movie about 2 guys who just go batshit insane on a small, secluded island where there's really bad weather.
That's his take. So no spoilers.
Correct. What was your take?
My take is I just love the movie. That's all I'm going to say. Fantastic film. Going back to the acting, and the dialogue was great. The language,
the monologues
which
are cool.
Yes, and I was going to touch on that. The monologues are great. Willem Dafoe has an epic monologue.
Literally, it's like an epic.
It's it's just, I think you should just really go into it as blind as you can. The trailers don't give away anything.
That's a classic A24
Perfect.
move.
Yeah.
A24 trailers are always very obscure, which is smart because it's like, dude, get people to show up to your freaking movies.
Yeah.
Like, they should know everything.
They know they're not going to be, getting like huge crowds that are going to go be seeing like Disney movies and whatever else.
Yeah, you had mentioned like the language, so both Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe committed hard to the way that they spoke, and the movie, it was actually, I think it was the TIFF Film Festival interview where there was like a question about, will this have subtitles? Because it's really, really difficult to understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
But in some senses, I don't think it's necessary to know every single word of what they're saying because... Necessary?
Is it necessary to drink my own urine? No, but it's sterile and I like the taste.
Oh, nice. That you just
name the movie. 6 points. Whoever can name that.
Dodgeball. Was it Patrick O'Houlihan?
What is wrong with you? They're supposed to do it.
They don't know shit about movies, dude.
That's why they need us.
The language is really neat. Not really being able to tell what they're saying. Just the kind of the chaos of the development of their relationship, but also the way that they communicate, and to me, it just paints this really neat picture of really, I mean, I don't know, failed masculinity, because I think that their characters fluctuate on the spectrum so much of who they really are, and you know,
it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. The weirdest part is Dylan asked for me to shack up with him on a lighthouse on an island right after. That was odd.
This movie is actually a documentary made about how Joey and I are going to survive winter in Portland this year.
That's right.
My favorite quote in the movie was, "If I had a steak right now, I'd fuck it." And that says nothing about the movie and everything about the movie.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts. That was so funny. And that's the thing about this movie. It's so funny in such an odd, austere way. You know?
I would say, all right then. I like your cooking.
No, all right, have it your way. I love your cooking.
Yes, but they don't fucking know that. They're not supposed to correct what I just said.
Joey was right.
We're having some discipline issues.
Joey's always right.
He's not yet a wiki. Cool.
How would I rate this movie? What is this? This movie's, imagine getting buried alive and then waking up in purgatory and having your flesh ripped out by a seagull.
Okay.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Oh, I know. Yeah, it's like driving a freaking classic car, like a BMW E30.
Here we go.
Stick shift, nice, primo, ready to go. Just fantastic, fun, old classic car. Whatever you suits your fancy, you know. That's a fucking good one. You shut up. All right.
We'll present a collection of Joey's ratings at the end of season 1. Anyway, go see The Lighthouse. I don't really know how much longer it'll be in theaters, but however you got to see it,
I do recommend seeing it in theaters because sound is very important in this film.
And
it really adds to it.
Scale's nice.
Scale's, yeah.
Yeah, it's that 4:4 ratio on the big screen.
It's definitely a theater film, I would say. I mean, not necessary, but it is at the same time.
Anyway, go see The Lighthouse. That's all we've got for you today. Bye.